Good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Sarlos. I'm Kelly.
Good morning. I'm Karen.
We're going to start off with show notes today as usual. We have our Evening with Medium events coming up on December 4th. We are still crossing our fingers that will fly just fine. Tickets are on sale at the website by sarlo.com. If for whatever reason we need to cancel that event due to COVID reasons, you will have every single penny refunded to you, so you can purchase those tickets and reserve your seats at no risk of losing out.
We have a second podcast series called Sips of Sanity. That is a very short show, 10 to 15 minutes. We produce 5. They run the very first week of every single month, Monday to Friday. The very first show is always free for you, and it's at the website by sarlo.com. The remaining shows clumped together from Tuesday to Friday are available at a website called patreon.com/by-Sarlo. Oh my goodness, I'm just literally struggling. Those are about emotional and spiritual intelligence tools, which seems funny coming out of my mouth right now. Go ahead, tell them all about Patreon.
Yes, so patreon.com is a paid membership. It's a monthly membership that you can buy into, and it provides different benefits at different tiers. So if you are looking for something like Sips of Sanity that provides tools for emotional intelligence, there are follow-up tools in higher tiers like reflective questions and habit trackers. In higher tiers, we also have guided journeying exercises as well as reflections and discussions. And then the higher up you go, you do have an opportunity to have your name entered into a draw for a free half-hour session every single month, which pays for the membership and then some, which is fantastic. So if you are interested in that, like we said, it's just month to month. There's no long-term commitment. You can take a peek at the website, patreon.com/by-Sarlo.
We have individual sessions, as Kelly and I both have our own separate practices. That covers people all over the world. You can see us by using Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, Theralink, and what am I missing?
Well, that's the only way they can see you. They can also call in.
You can call anywhere in the world by telephone. And the accuracy of those sessions is just as accurate as if you're here in person with us.
And much better today. Much better than today's delivery. We also have gift certificates available for anyone in the world. You can purchase those and have them received anywhere, like we said. We can send e-certificates through your email or directly to the person that you're buying for. However you want to surprise them or gift directly, you can just let us know. We can be a part of that. You can email us to request a gift certificate. Good. So you have very interesting, hard-hitting client story today.
I do. So this person was by Zoom. And I'm just going to reiterate for people in case they're not familiar with Zoom. We can see each other during this session and we can speak to each other.
What a stupid thing to say.
Can we just go back?
Like the whole recording today?
Maybe. Okay, maybe I'll get my poop in a group today.
I hope so, because you're the one telling the story.
Yeah. So we can see each other. After consent, I simply said to her, how would you like to do your session? Do you have anything specific? And she says, I do. She says, I'm booking my session today because I want to know about my career, and that's it. And I said, okay. And she says, so the full half hour is on that. And she says, and I want this to be very specific, nothing general. I want you to be right to the point. And she starts turning like agitated, angry. And I'm sitting there like thinking, what the heck? And she says, and she just kind of like starts pointing her finger at me. And I'm thinking, there seems to be a lot of anger. And she's just opening the session with what I thought was supposed to just be a request to the spirit guides for information. And you can feel it. It's palpable. So I look at her. Pardon me?
Did you add a T to palpable?
I did. Jesus, Kelly.
Sorry.
Yeah, I did. It's going to be a rough show.
Hey.
So I said, okay, I'm going to check in with the guides and see what's going on, because I'm thinking, wow, I don't want to confront this person right now. I don't know what is happening, what's going down. I'm just going to ask the guides what's going on, but also why the anger, because it might be related and I might need to understand this. And so the guides explained to me that she wants to know if her career is going to progress. And I'm like, well, that's really general. Like, explain a bit more. So they gave me the information, and I said to the client, which, by the way, I forgot to ask you to name. What do you want to call her?
I'm going to call her April.
I thought you were going to call her Karen.
Oh, she is, yeah, by all standards.
She is a Karen.
She is a Karen. I will hand this one over to you. I will save April for another cranky client.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guides tell me that she wants to help people and that her life purpose is to help people. So, yay, that's an alignment. And that helping people for her in this lifetime means being of service to people who are in need. So again, that's to me, that's still pretty general. So I say, what kind of people? And they said, she wants to help seniors. She wants to put communities together. She wants to bring groups together to care for them in one location. And she wants to make it affordable for them. And it's like, oh, okay. So I don't just mean like a hospice or a nursing home. I mean that she wants to put a place together that has individual living. So if you want to say condominiums or homes in a community, perhaps there's a hospice also present in this community, and also different levels of care. So it would be social. So there could be coffee shops, there could be restaurants and a hairdressing place. There could be a variety of services there for them. Now, this sounds like it could be a town. So I'll say that it's a mini community, but it's really based on servicing them. And I'm going to say that because what she ultimately wants here is control over all of these businesses so that she can make money off of everything.
Well, that's not the direction that I think listeners are going to anticipate.
Yeah.
This is neat. So just to clarify, this is a mini community she wants to create within a larger city, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Just making sure I understand that. But she wants to control other people's businesses as the third party that coordinates all of this.
Yes. And she hasn't told me this. So the guys are telling me that there are a variety of things that she wants here. So she wants like a senior citizen home where people can come and go. Then she wants another home where there's higher levels of care. And then she wants it right through to hospice where they stay there to pass away. So there's all levels of living, but it's geared to, I want to say, bottom line is it's geared to people with wealth, because she is looking for financial abundance, which would be her term. I want financial abundance, and I want to attract all of this to me. And the universe is supposed to give me all of that because it's in alignment with my goal. And so the guides say all of this to me, and they word it that way. It's worded very carefully. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I feel like this whole session is a trap.
I just on a totally separate note, can I point out that, or draw people's attention to, this started out as an angry session, and the first thing you decided to do was step back and say to the guides, you tell me what's going on so I don't have to ask her. And everything that you just took minutes to describe, you actually received with channeling in about 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's fascinating, and I think that's something that should never be lost on people about how the gifts work, because someone might think like, well, she's taken 2.5 minutes, put hair in my coffee there, to describe this happening, and yet that wasn't at all how the session was used up. It happened in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and she's watching her clock like,
yes.
Yeah.
Which would also be why I'm explaining this.
Yeah, like she's like, well, you're wasting my 30 minutes here.
With valuable information, yes, of course.
You do that faster and you make those spirit guides talk faster. So she literally says things to me like, what's taking so long?
No wonder you stammered before you started talking about this show. It made me fucking nervous too.
Started.
Oh, Karen's.
Yeah. And so I said to her, okay, I said, the guides are giving me some information and I'm going to be as factual as possible. So I'm trying to lay the groundwork of
I am meeting your needs.
I'm meeting your needs and I'm not bringing in my opinion. I don't have an opinion and I don't care. And so I said to her, this is what your career is to be in this lifetime. Because she's looking for what is my career supposed to be? This is how she's asked this question. What is my purpose here with career? So I explain all of this to her. And I explain, so just the way that I explained to everybody else, but I tried to make it even more just plain factual. Your life purpose is to work with, senior people, to offer these services. But I leave out the fact that she wants people of wealth. And I simply say to her what these services would be. And she says, well, that's good because that is what I'm here to do. And I know that's my life purpose. I already know all of this. And again, she's already
Of course you do, Karen.
She's angry, even though she hasn't said that and she hasn't directed any questions. She hasn't been specific at all. She's been purposely extremely general to say what do the guides want to tell me. But as soon as I say, well, this is what I'm being told, and I realize this is an affirmation, she's angry. It's like, we already know this.
Yeah, can I just plainly illustrate that she so obnoxiously decided that she was going to ask a question, quotes on that, because she didn't actually. She said, can you tell me about my purpose? Can you tell me about my career? That's not even a question. She went so general to test you and the guides, but said, I won't tolerate anything other than very specific answers from them or you. Okay.
That's all.
I wouldn't employ her or be employed by her.
So she says, well, be more specific. I told you clarity. I'm looking for clarity. And I said to her, well, you're not giving me any direction, even though you're looking for clarity. You're not telling me what you're looking for. Would you like to? No. So she says, you can continue. Interesting. So then I said to the guides, what else? And they said, well, we've answered the question. She's asked what her life purpose is. We've said this is what it is and that we support that she did come here to do this. And we'll show you a past life where she has actually done it in the past. This will be familiar for her. She will feel really pulled that this is purpose. And I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, she didn't ask me to do past lives. Do I say it? And they said, yes, you can. So I'm asking the guides, do I say these things or not? And so I told her that. I said, well, it links into a past life of yours. And she goes, well, of course it would. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how that's an of course for anybody. I really don't. And I do this for a living.
Karen, you gifted bitch. Why did you call me?
I haven't got a clue. So
if anyone has wondered since COVID started why we started asking for prepayment, this is why.
Oh yeah, the craziness and the abuse has gone through the roof.
Yeah,
it has escalated tremendously.
Yeah, I'll wait and see if I like my messages to see if I want to pay you.
Huge, and the no shows, the abuse has gotten a lot worse. So anyway, so then I said to not that I'm trying to anyway you, but
no, I didn't.
The guides, I said to the guides, what does she need to know? And they said, well, that she's working the universal laws. And I said, well, is she even going to understand that? Oh, yes, she's going to understand the universal laws. She's spiritual. And I'm laughing because the guides are giving her the air quotes.
That's not good.
Oh, that's not good. If your guides are giving me the air quotes that you're a spiritual human being, you're not a spiritual human being at all. So I'm like, oh my God. But I do appreciate their humor. So I do think it's lovely for people to hear that we can still have some humor going on in spite of the fact that I've got a Karen in front of me who's trying to abuse me and abuse the spirit world at the same time. And that the spirit guides know what she's doing, and they're actually having a little bit of fun with me. And I appreciate that. So I said, is she going to have success in this career? Because remember, she's not being specific. And they said, well, that would be the problem. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, well, go ahead, and tell her all of that. So I repeated it, and I said, they're not saying anything yet about the success of it. And she looks at me and she goes, Karen, like, I already know all of this. I've already tried all of this. I've already built all of that. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I've already built all of that. I did it. And I looked at the guides like, what the heck is happening? And they went, yeah, now we'll go to phase 2. I said, well, what's happening? So she's talking to me. And at the same time, the guides are talking to me. And
I'll say that's standard.
Yeah, that's totally standard. And the guides are saying to me, that she's going to say things like that the humans fell through, that they were terrible people, and that she needs the right professionals and that she needs professionals. And I'm like, well, did she have professionals? Oh, yes, she did. Did she have healthy people around her? Oh, absolutely. And I'm like, oh, so you supported her purpose. Oh, we did. We sent all kinds of good people to her. And I hear her saying, at the very same time, you ask the spirit guides when they're finally going to send me some freaking decent human beings to help me. And the guides are looking at me going, we sent her wonderful human beings. We sent her professionals. We sent her people with good morals and good values. They couldn't work with her. And I'm like, no shit. I'm having a hard time, and I've got all her spirit guides talking to me.
Oh, yeah. That's perspective.
Right? So I said, is she a bully like this all the time? Like, I'm assuming she's a bully like this in every aspect of her life because, most bullies will people please until they don't get what they want and then step into bully mode. Not too many bullies are always nice unless they're getting their needs met by manipulation through kindness, right? So the guide said to me, we gave her everything. It was written in the contract. We kept our agreement in the contract, and now she's here basically to
have a temper tantrum.
Have a temper tantrum, and watch Karen. I'm like, oh Lord!
So glad there's a screen between us.
Yeah, so glad for COVID in this moment. It's not an in-person session. And so I said to her, well, the guides are saying that they did give you professionals. And I said, is that correct? And she goes, what? And I said, well, no, you actually hired proper professionals. You hired an accountant. And she goes, what does that mean? And I said, well, do you not know what a professional means? And I said, because if not, I would be happy to say, an accountant is a professional. A plumber is a professional if he has a license. So I'm saying you hired licensed people. You didn't just say to Uncle Harry, who does some plumbing on the side with no license, can you come and build all these buildings for me and create a nursing home idea for me and not have a professional plumber, electrician, building permit from your local city. Like I said, I'm being told you did it properly. And she goes, well, of course I did it properly. But it's like she's looking to fight with me personally as Karen. And personally, me as Karen doesn't give a shit to get engaged in any kind of fight. None at all, because I've got the spirit guides telling me who she truly is. And because of that information, I have no interest in her as a friend or as a person I want to be engaged in, more than helping her with the session. And if she's open to becoming a better person, that's my goal. That's my intention. For her to hear the truth and to improve in some aspect of her life, or to get education or something. So I said to her, well, the guides say that, about these professionals. Is that true? And she goes, well, of course I had professionals and I didn't ask my uncle. And it's like she's mad at me that I even thought that of her. I don't think that of her.
That's channeled.
That's channeled, and I'm trying to differentiate between a professional and a non-professional. But she goes to my non-professional description, takes it personally, and tries to throw it back at me that I'm the one that thinks that of her. Well, I don't think that of her at all. I'm just illustrating an example for her. Oh my God, like, you talk about all the forms of verbal abuse going on here in a half-hour session so that she can connect to her spirit guides. How is that a spiritual person? So then I said to her about the spiritual universal laws. And I said, the guides are saying that you actually know about the spiritual laws. Is that correct? Yes. She says, I've known about those for decades. Why? And I said, because they're saying that you actually don't live by them. And that's why none of this worked for you. You have no integrity. You are not an honest person. You do not follow processes. You skip processes. That's what got you in trouble. And when you skipped processes in creating these buildings and working with the city and working with these professionals who follow processes, when they actually had to approach you and say, we need the electrician before the plumber can come, or we need the drywaller after the electrician or something. She just went into her, I know better. I'm the one, I'm the boss. And so the professionals quit. They all walked away from her project. And so she never got to actually build and complete this project. It never ran or became successful because of her personality, because of her levels of abuse, because of her choices.
Like, I don't even like my grandmas, and I wouldn't let them go there.
What? Sorry? Oh, I see what you're saying.
I wouldn't wish her, certainly on any senior who is in a stage of their life progressing to more and more vulnerability, as we know, and then professionals who step into those kinds of roles to care for seniors because they're compassionate people. They don't deserve her behavior. Just no one does.
No one deserves to work with this kind of person, which is what you're pointing out.
Yeah.
She can't keep employees. She can't keep a business partner, which is also part of what came out in this session, was that she had business partners that were purely financial. They didn't want to be involved in the day-to-day running. They were just silent partners. That's the right word, eh? A silent partner that invests. Yeah. And they couldn't cope with her, with the very little that they had to do with her, which was just purely making arrangements for financial help.
Well, even at that, like if she's skipping process, repeating patterns, and not honest, with obviously no integrity, I ain't putting my money there.
That's what happened.
Not investing in that.
That's what happened. They pulled out. So the professionals pulled out in terms of the bookkeepers said, no thanks, this is a mess.
I feel sad for wherever this community is to have had an idea that could have been great and implemented for any wealth level and been great if these are the structures that were going to be put into place, and then to have it disintegrate because of one, as they say, bad egg.
And the guides wanted to deal with the fact that she learned the universal laws by reading them, and she got really suckered into the law of attraction and the law of abundance. And she's messed them up to think that as long as I want something and I refer to it as spiritual, I should get what I want because I'm spiritual. So the guides were like, we'd like you to have a conversation with her around the fact that her narcissism is now a spiritual narcissism. And I'm like, I don't even know if spiritual and narcissism go together, but they're going to refer to it as that.
You've done a show on it before.
Oh, no, I know. It's such a, my head
Oxymoron.
wants to explode, that she refers to herself as being a spiritual person. During our show or our session, she's got crystals and gemstones around her neck, and she's got a crucifix because she's also a religious person. So she's got the things in life that she thinks denote to others that I'm in control because I'm spiritual and I'm religious and I know what I'm doing. And she carries herself in a way like, and I'm changing the way that I'm sitting, but it's like, I'm going to behave this way and speak like this, so that no one can challenge me. So she has tremendous insecurity issues and tries to come across by bearing them or hiding them by coming across as the opposite of that, which is the bully. But she thinks she's being assertive. She thinks she's being a businesswoman. And the guides say, no, go back to the universal laws. Explain to her this is not being an assertive woman. This is
Person.
not.
That's not an assertive quality of any person.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot about gender.
Yes.
And about language.
Yes. And so the guides try to bring it back to the universal laws and talking to her about why she's failed. They want to help her succeed. She wants none of it. She wants to succeed based on who she is currently, and she's not changing for anybody. And it's up to the spirit guides to just give her what she wants. So she interrupts the session.
She called the wrong lady.
She interrupts me and says, I just called you because I want to know when I'm getting this. I want to know when these people are coming. I want to know. And so I just calmly looked at her and I said, no. I said, that's not what the spirit guides are saying or doing. And well, that's not what I'm looking for. And I said, no, because you don't want to do the necessary change. And that's part of your soul contract. Your contract is that you need to grow. You need to change. And I said, and she goes, I'm calling about career. And I said, that's correct. But your career contract interfaces with the contract for your own growth. You can't separate them.
And like, girl, you had it.
She
You
did.
blew it.
Yeah.
How dare you call and demand that the guys just hand it to you on a silver platter, period. And for a second time.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Spiritual ego.
You know,
And I'm jokingly saying spiritual ego in the same light of saying spiritual narcissism.
yeah, you know, it's fine. And you can tell me if I'm overstepping here, but like, I love that you went ahead and decided to name her Karen anyway, because this is the current name that's being thrown out for this behavior.
Yeah.
And I want to ask a genuine question here, and I don't mean it, well, it's going to end up offensive anyway. Is she a white woman?
Yes.
And as we're learning, white women's tears. The entitlement, the idea of privilege is just unbelievable.
Right to the point where we're seeing Karen, white woman privilege, where they're behaving that way towards other human beings. She took it to a whole other level and came in to attack right from the outset. She got geared up before the session. So now I'm like, oh, I get it. Now I understand that at the beginning, right from the get-go, as soon as I finished the consent process, she went right into the anger that's all bottled up in her. Now I understand all of the energy of, I want clarity. I don't want any of your general answers. Like, I understand now it was, let's bully the medium, let's bully the messenger, so that if I intimidate her enough, the spirit guides will tell me what I want to hear. And it's like, maybe you might bully some other mediums. Maybe.
And I mean, if you do, like, you're not going to get what you want.
Right.
The spirit guides aren't going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, she picked the right one.
Right. And I don't know how other psychic mediums would handle that. I would hope that they handle it the very same way, that there's consistency across the board, that if somebody is bullying, they're bullying, and you see it and you call it for what it is. Plain and simple. And you address that with that person, you give them the opportunity, because that's what the guides want. The guides want them to have the opportunity to see themselves.
Yeah, fucking have a little humility and be able to move forward as two human beings.
Yeah. And they said to her that this would not manifest for her again in this lifetime in her current state, and that she'll never be able to keep employees or coworkers or private partners, anything. She won't be able to. And because it's within her, it's all of the stuff that's within her. And she wants to project it out on everybody else, including that day, me, and the spirit guides.
That's an up top.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I like it's not difficult. Like, it's fatiguing to some degree to see somebody in that much anger and pain synesthetically, because you and I feel it. And so that's a fatiguing moment, I would say, for me in a session.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you have those moments too, and I don't know how it comes through for you, but I'm trying not to step on cords or a dog tail right now, so this is very difficult. You know, with all of that, like you're saying, you hear about the level of depression they're in, or the level of anxiety that they're in, and you get the medical intuitive that goes with it, and then you get the brain stuff that goes with it, and it's like the guides go, there it is, but also don't say anything because we can't go there today.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Like, on a completely separate note, if like just chit-chatting about this now, she needs therapy. She needs help.
It's good. You're hitting all the bingo squares today, Mom.
Am I?
People are like, go, Karen. Spell
Well,
something for me, baby.
Help. HELP. You're welcome. To our bingo players.
Oh, my God.
It's like, she really does need someone to sit down and really be able to address the hurt and the anger and the insecurity underneath all of this. She did not give me time in the half-hour session to do any of that. And that was doable.
Yeah. And I was going to say, too, like, and she booked a half an hour.
Yes, so that she could have this fight and confrontation with a human and with the spirit world, but not actually get anything done. She didn't book this appointment to be productive. She booked it, I don't know, to pick a fight.
Yeah. And that's not to discredit the people out there who are thinking of booking a half hour or who regularly book a half hour. Those, as you've heard in many stories through our podcast,
are great.
Those can be excellent and very efficient. And for a very limited few, we've got some clients who do short 15s. And that's on a very selective level on our part. But that's how productive you can be with a single pointed question and an openness to actually be working with the guides in that sense.
Yeah. Those 15-minute sessions are with regular clients who we have a rapport with, just so that people listening don't call and say, I want the 15-minute session, and it's your first time or your second time. No, these are clients that we have seen 30 times, 40 times, over a period of 5 years.
And who know how to structure structure questions
Yes.
so well. And have had, as you've said, many years leading up to like a foundation of knowledge to be able to get a very pointed answer and know how to utilize all the other tools and go, okay, this makes sense in relation to so much, else that I've heard.
And this is, I think, speaks very much, Kelly, to the reason why we don't go on Facebook and do Facebook live readings.
Yeah.
Where we just yell out answers. Yeah, hi, Marg. Yeah, you're going to get the boat at 3,000. Hi, Bill. you're going to have a baby in 6 months. That's why we don't do stuff like that. It's not a nickel and dime show of just trying to get people to follow us on Facebook. It's truly connecting with the spirit world on a far deeper level. And I realize there is an audience for the other kind and that people enjoy that. It's more entertainment based. That's fine. That's just the way they're doing it. The 15-minute for me with clients is, as you said, when they're really trying to get to the bottom of something, they've worked out their question, and they're truly willing to hear the answer and work it.
And not say, can I have one more minute? Can I have one extra minute?
Those clients never one more minute us at the end of a session. They never say go open for 59 minutes. And then on the 59th minute, say, I have questions.
Yeah.
And then say 15 things that they want. So anyway, back to Karen. I'll say it was a very unproductive session in terms of the spirit world because she really didn't want to hear anything other than I'm getting what I want.
Well, by choice, by her, not...
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. So she called, and I want to make one more point here. She doesn't really believe in the spirit world.
There we go.
And she really doesn't believe in me or you or what we do.
Oh, you had to throw me in there? To make this personal?
I want you under the bus with me.
That's fine. That's
For
fair.
company.
Yeah.
I don't mean meanly. But I just mean that she doesn't really believe in it. She refers to herself as spiritual. She buys her gemstones and she does all of the, beaded bracelets. And I'm not knocking any of that. I've got my own license in crystal and gemstone healing. I love the value of the rocks and the energy of the stones.
Then let's put it this way. I can go buy an Audi or a Porsche and people can be like, oh, she must be a car person. And I might not know how to drive them. Or what the brand
Right.
even is, but I know it's expensive and I know people think certain things if I'm seen with it.
Right. And so her inauthenticity.
I was looking for a little more praise. I thought that was a really good example.
You did a good job, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Go on.
Her level of inauthenticity was through the charts, 10 out of 10. And the spirit guides, I think, in a really loving way, were trying to say to me, this is going to be a rough half hour. You and us, we better have a little bit of fun here. And we need to take care of you because the level of fatigue for you and I with that type of client can be high if you and I don't understand that the relationship we have with the spirit world is what motivates our work.
Yeah, guys, we still dance with them afterwards, after Karen's.
Yes, that's right. So, and it's okay then that, say she's from 12 to 12:30 and the 12:30 client calls or the 1 o'clock because I've had a half hour lunch or something. I'm okay at 12:30 or 1 o'clock to go, hi, Barb. So what do you want in your session today? Because I'm not going to be so kerfuffled or so angry or still in my shit over the Karens of the world and the spiritual Karens of this world who are using their spirituality or their religious charade or facade to see what they can get out of humans and the spirit world.
I have never in my 32 years heard it pronounced charade.
Charade. There's Karen Smith, a bingo square again. See, I do not disappoint.
Oh, I hope people are like, I need a bingo square. Send that to me.
Honest to Pete, I feel like I'm an educated human being. Sometimes I feel like I've got to so defend myself. I don't know where and what happens sometimes. Anyway.
At least you're humble about it.
Oh, shit.
You defy the Karens.
I make tons of mistakes and I laugh. I laugh at the way I mispronounce words, and yet I love words. I love reading. I love educating myself. Anyway.
I think it's one of the reasons that the guides pick you over and over again.
Because I can laugh. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. I do laugh at myself every single day.
And I mean, how many shows have you done where your term for yourself is good to know?
Oh, yeah.
Right? That even when it is a laughable moment or it isn't, you can sit there and go, okay, I can learn from that. Or, okay, I'm going to note that and I'm going to do better next time. That's the attitude that the guides are looking for consistently to be able to help people with. So, I don't know, who better to choose to channel those kinds of messages than you?
And who better to dance with all the dead people than a dancer?
You called yourself a dancer.
Well, in my mind, I've never taken lessons. But
I think that's funny that you picked the name Barb as well.
oh,
Anyway.
okay.
Okay. Is that today's show?
It is.
All right. Well, I understand that you all are heading into a Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, or are in it. So I hope that in some way you can draw some good lessons from this show and carry into your family traditions. And I guess it's looking different this year too. So carry on into your holiday and in some version of your own dance and happiness, and get your lessons out of this.
I hope so. It's why we share the stories. I'm sure everybody is fed up or tired of these Karens and men that do the same thing. What do you call a male Karen?
Oh, wouldn't it be so funny that we don't have a name for that?
I thought, we don't? Why don't we have a male Karen? I mean, both sexes do it.
Right. But society also likes to pick on women. Although
I didn't know
have
that.
heard, and I recognize too that this is limited information for me, and it is a white name. But I have heard Kyle and Chad be referred to as like that pompous, I deserve everything. But that's just something I've heard through the grapevine. It's not, I don't know if it's as common as a Karen.
Oh, okay.
And I also understand, when this came out that you had said this is a new generational term, that when you were younger it was called a Carol.
I thought so. But I mean,
And I think we've also we've got different names for a lot of things. We've heard in my generation of like the Beckys, right? So I'm sure it travels through generations and cultures to understand this general behavior.
as much as I don't like it that it's my name, I like it that they're identifying them somehow so that people are now discussing it and it's being presented that these behaviors are abusive, that they are unacceptable, that they are disconnectors, that and that people are stepping up. We're being encouraged now to stand up to the Karens and the Chads of the world, publicly and privately, in all areas of our life. And so, as far as I can see, the Karens and the Chads are the bullies. And so I'm happy that everyone is starting to recognize it and identify it and stand. They should be called Donalds.
I was just thinking that. It's good that it's not being tolerated.
Yeah, and that educated people are being asked to step up and deal with it. So to that, I would say, if you're not an educated person and don't know confrontation skills, learn. Learn confrontation skills so that you're not just stepping into a fight with somebody.
Also a good note to take as you go into Thanksgiving weekend. Because calls go up that weekend for us. Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have questions or comments about today's show, you can email us at info@bysarlo.com. Also, if you've if you've heard us talking about our bingo sheets and you'd like to play along with any of the shows, email us at info@bysarlo.com and we will send that to you directly. I also wanted to mention too, before we say goodbye, that we wanted to build up some anticipation. We have a wonderful guest coming back early November. Jim Lennox will be back doing a series of shows recapping his investigation of history. If you do want to go back into season 1, if you can believe it, of Coffee with the Sarlos, Jim's got some really, really beautiful stories about his channeling sessions with Karen. So he will be back, like I said, early November. You can get ready for that. Otherwise, we do hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.